always on time. I'm ahead of the game, I'm first place. I'm in my prime. Hard work that pays off. I pay dues, I'm paid off. Cross me, get crossed off. I'm so fresh, I'm so raw. Go hard like A-Day. It's game time like game day. I ball all in clutch play.
This season, watch the Hungry Jacks NBL take it to the next level.
It's a very good afternoon and welcome to day 3 of the NBL Blitz from the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre, a Monday night doubleheader. And we start with 2 semi-finalists from NBL 21, the South East Melbourne Phoenix, who were very, very good in their first performance on the weekend. And we get our first look at the Brian Goorjian-coached Illawarra Hawks, very much the same lineup, although a couple of very key inclusions for the Hawks. Jack Heverin joined in commentary, as always, by Pete Hooley. Hools, good to see you, and exciting to see Illawarra for the first time.
Good to be here, mate, and you're exactly right. We've seen what the Phoenix have done, and they're missing another key piece tonight. Mitch Creek not playing with that ankle injury he got in the second quarter of their first game, but Illawarra Hawks really exciting. One game, really one quarter away from a final berth last season. Bring back a lot of that core, add in some exciting pieces, and let's see what Brian Goorjian's done in the preseason with them. So
for the Hawks, Antonius Cleveland in. Duop Reith, we'll talk about him across this game, but his presence figuratively and literally is enormous. Harry Froling coming from Brisbane and Xavier Rathan-Mays, their key inclusions. No Justin Simon this season. Deng Deng has made his way to Brisbane, and Cam Bairstow, as we saw yesterday, has bobbed up at Adelaide. I think the key for Illawarra was retaining Tyler Harvey and the fact that they've been able to do it on a multi-year deal.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? How exciting was he springing into the league last year? One of the most exciting players to watch when he gets rolling. And really, Brian Goorjian loves him. He's bought into the Illawarra culture, loves the community, just sat down with him media day. He was just loving the fact of what they're building. Getting his running mate back, Justinian Jessop's exciting, but as you said, Duop Reith, that's the big signing, bringing in the Boomers bronze medalist, a guy who has these dreams to get to the NBA, and a big season here is going to help that, and he is a big monster lining up alongside Sam Froling.
What a front court that is.
Well, they both love crashing the boards, and talking to both of them, they love the fact that they're going to be monsters in that regard. We know Brian Goorjian preaches defense, so especially the offensive glass, if they crash the glass like that, guys like Jessup and Tyler Harvey are going to get shots for days. So let's see how Reith goes against the big fella Joe Chi, who was very good in his NBL debut. Just short of a double-double, picked up those fouls and really sat down, only played 13.5 minutes before fouling out, and let's see what he brings.
A little later on this afternoon and into this evening, it'll be Melbourne United up against the Sydney Kings. We start with the Phoenix in possession. Adnam, Mumford, Chi, Brokoff in their starting group. Brokoff looks sharp in his first game, and that is a dream start.
Well, that's exactly how he started the first game of the preseason, and the word was coming into these games that he was looking good, and he's showing it. Super confident, moving really well, and it just looks like he's got a smile on his face. Back to the Ryan Brokoff we know and love.
It's Tyler Harvey getting an early look from deep. Nice rebound by Chi. We shouldn't underestimate, I guess, for Ryan Brokoff. Last season, Hools, when he came in, hardly the ideal preparation, was it?
No, it wasn't. Hadn't played for a long time as Ruben Trongi comes way up. Bit long there on that corner 3 ball, but now he's healthy. Justinian Jessup back in the league. That's what he does. That's going to make Hawks fans very happy, and interesting to see Kyle Adnam with the start for the Phoenix. This will happen all throughout the year, you'd think. Isaiah Liafa started the first game, struggled, went scoreless, fouled out. Simon Mitchell's going to run with whoever's getting it done on certain nights, you would think.
We mentioned no Cam Glidden as Chi gets to the basket athletically, lays it up.
It was a good pass. Moves well. Joe Chi hangs around, gets to the right spots, and only got to see him for 13.5 minutes before fouling out. But it was definitely a big presence.
Sam Froling puts the ball on the floor, takes it at Chi, who caught up from behind and blocked the shot. So involved at both ends of the floor, then broke off in the action of shooting the 3. Fouled by Duop Reith.
What a block by Joe Chi, and a lot of people were talking about that, is how is he going to be able to defend the on-ball, lateral movement. But you see there, Sam Froling had the step on him, got downhill, and it didn't matter. Joe Chi just a second late with that length, still manages to pin it against the backboard. It'll take some tinkering. Simon Mitchell's going to have to figure out when they play certain teams, if you've got a Bryce Cotton, Chris Golding coming off that ball screen, what happens with Joe Chi? Do they play drops? Do they try and get him in a place that they can get him out of those kind of ball screen scenarios? It'll be interesting to see how they play with that, but that'll make him very happy.
Last season, only the 19 games for Ryan Broekhoff. Came in midway through the year, averaged 7 points a game. We saw glimpses of his absolute best and his NBA capabilities. But you're right, he looks fit and he looks like he's moving well from the small sample size we've had so far.
Well, he does. And he looks like he's having fun. I think there was a lot between the ears, as you'd expect last year. But for Ryan Broekhoff, just getting back to what we all know and love from him. We've seen him in the national colours and in the NBA. And this man trying to get to the NBA is off to a flying start.
Back-to-back trebles for Justinian Jessup. You wonder with Jessup too, year 2, coming back as a next star, he's seen it all now. He knows the league, he knows the players, whether he's more relaxed coming into this NBL 22 season.
There'd be a bit of that, and I think there'd be a bit more direction as Kyle Adam tries to find Broekhoff in the corner. A bit more direction from the Warriors is exactly what they want to see.
The Jessup 1-on-3, happy to take his odds and score with the extra coming up. 8 points to Illawarra. All of them belong to Justinian Jessup.
Justinian Jessup right now is giving Joe Luala-Chul a run for the money for most points in the first quarter of a Blitz game. That's 17 points the other night. Looking really good. And as I said, a bit more chance around the Warriors, and they could find out exactly what they want him to grow after one good year in the NBL. And I think Brian Goorjian would be preaching that consistency. When he was on, he was on. We saw a lot of good things from Justinian Jessup. A lot of the time, if his shot wasn't dropping, just kind of faded away during the game. They can't have that. They need him to be up and firing in most games.
If you have just joined us, no Mitch Creek, no Cam Glidden. Adnam jacks one up and drops it from deep.
Well, that's a man who's never short on confidence. He could miss 20 shots in a row. That next one he thinks is going in. There's a good chance it will. Good start to the preseason overall for Kyle Adnam.
Nice shooting stats for both teams to start this one. There's Reith. Our first look at him offensively. Back to the basket. Worked his way into the paint. Couldn't finish off. Now Adnam. Mumford. Oh, did he call bank?
Not a chance. Not a chance. He called bank there, but it doesn't matter. It still counts the same. Not a bad debut. Better in the second half for Xavier Munford. He was 3 of 14 from the field in that first game, but it looked a lot more comfortable in the second half as Duop Reith takes Drungy off the dribble for the N1 opportunity, showing his versatility. But back on Mumford, really good signing overall for the Phoenix. You talk about how good their guards have been in years past. They've been predominantly point guards. Look at John Roberson, Kiefer Sykes. They bring in a guy of that caliber, but as a combo guard, gives Simon Mitchell the option to run Kyle Adnam in the guard when he comes on, leave Mumford in the 2. Same with Isaiah Liafa. It makes it a lot easier to work out rotations rather than having a strictly point guard dominant import. So I really like the signing. Don't forget, Phoenix still have a SWAT up their sleeve.
Well, I read the Logue down today with Matt Logue, and he mentioned that it could be as soon as the next couple of days that the Phoenix make their announcement about filling that import spot. It won't be Dante Exum. Dante, unless there's something changes late, but Dante's trying to keep his NBA career alive at this stage. But Matt Logue did go on to report that Phoenix fans will like this name and will be familiar with this name.
Well, there you go. That's going to be really exciting when they drop that name. And Liam Santamaria said it the other night when I called a game with him. He said that the same thing you're basically saying, which means Liam's known it for a few weeks now and didn't want to give away too much. But that'll be great to add to the squad they've got. Another team that's brought back that core. Really promising signs for the future. It's all about the defensive end. It has been since the Phoenix came into the league. They've got no trouble scoring. Yep. What can they do on the defensive end? And that's going to be the key from Simon Mitchell.
How do they look inside from a big man department? Yanni Wetzel and Ben Moore not coming back this season. Is that possibly where they're vulnerable?
To a degree. I mean, we saw what happened when Joe Chi got those fouls and had to sit down. Torrey Smith-Milner, who signed after being out of the league for a year, came in. He picked up some foul trouble, but they have the ability to play small. Hurts in a game like this when you've got the Duop Reiths and stuff, but a team puts Sam Froling to the 5, say. You can have a Mitch Creek match up with that and play small ball. They have plenty of options. It's just about trying to play smart.
So Phoenix by 2. Broekhoff made a hot start to this game. Mumford crossing over on Jessup. Deep 2 off the front of the rim. That was last touched by Cheat. So Illawarra ball.
You see the impact and presence of Joe Chi just down low. Even if you box him out, the length to be able to go over and at least try and get some piece, some part of the ball, you got to get him right out of the way from the key, otherwise he can have some big nights on the glass.
Antonius Cleveland, key signing in the off-season for Illawarra, as was the retention of this man, Tyler Harvey. Second attempt, rolls it home. So the Phoenix, in their second game of the Blitz, had a good showing first up. Chi from outside, off the front of the rim. Offensive rebound to Rungy. There's Brokoff wide open. That jumps in and out.
Well, he dodged the bullet there, leaving Ryan Brokoff, who's already feeling good, doesn't need much space or time. And foul there. Good attack from Cleveland. And NBL fans, Melbourne United fans will be familiar with the name Antonius Cleveland.
Yeah.
Was part of that game in the NBA preseason against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and just good to get a little presence. I'm sure he started to follow the league a lot more closely from that game.
He takes a seat. Tim Conrad comes in for his first minutes, and the club announcing this afternoon that Tim Conrad has been upgraded and will play as a full roster position in this NBL 22 season. He was retired this time last year.
Well, he was. Just another guy. You talk about building that culture in the Hawks community. Tim Conrad really is all about that. So it's credit to him and credit to everybody involved that he's going to stay around.
Foul on Mumford. As Xavier Rathan-Mays checking in with the white headband that you can see there. Toronto native, their final signing for this season. He's most recently played in Romania, but very experienced around the world.
Well, exciting to see him line up with Harvey and Jessup as he takes a shot as soon as he gets in. First touch, up it goes, and we see the first minutes of the Froling brothers in the front court together.
I'm told reliably, that's a nice finish from Mumford. I'm told reliably by Damon Lowry yesterday that the Frolings have never played together, Harry and Sam, at any level. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, spoke to Sam Froling during media day, and he mentioned that they haven't at all, really. I'm sure there'd be plenty of little pickup games and stuff like that. But overall, this would be a really nice experience for those two to try and get something positive in their career and then take those next steps.
It's Reith in the low block, hands off to Cleveland. Shot clock ticking down. Froling gets underneath and can't score. The foul called there. Both teams starting to ring the changes. Phoenix a little undermanned in this one with three key players not out there.
Well, Cam Glidden, all reports, is on track with hip surgery, and to come back, we know how important he is. But this is just a team that loves to shoot the three ball. They're going to be happy.
It's 21-16. 3 minutes to play before quarter time. As Tristan Forsyth comes in. Here's Torrey Smith-Milner as well. Fantastic to see him back in the league, Pete. You mentioned his minutes on day one on Saturday. A year out, a championship winner with Melbourne United, and someone that you know very well.
Yeah, well, they're going to need him, aren't they, for those spot minutes behind Joe Chi, especially until he gets adjusted. Good pass from Adnan there to Forsyth. It comes up a bit long on that. Gets his own rebound. Good to see the fight. Not going to get to keep it. But yeah, they're going to need those spot minutes from him, whether it's foul trouble, backing up from injuries, or just what he brings in to be able to stretch the floor. It's important that they've put him in those positions to be successful.
Brokoff pulling up. Hand in the face from Ogilvie. It's Harry Froling, formerly of Brisbane. Before that, Adelaide. Now with his brother in Illawarra as Conrad gets a clip on the arm on the way through and scores.
Oh, Tim Conrad, instant offense on the bench. Talk about green lights. He's had one whole time at Illawarra. That's what they want to get. Get that offense off the bench. Get those three balls. Get everything working.
$11 games last year. Tim Conrad came in for the injured Cam Bairstow and played some good minutes. Brokoff had it stolen away by Rathan Mays. And Brokoff had something to say to the officials on the way past and has been teched up for his troubles.
Oh, just a bit of frustration there. Justinian Jessup to the line. Not the man you want to send to the line the way he started.
Jessup now has 10 points on a perfect 3 of 3 from the field. Froling. Hands off to Rathan Mays. Creates the switch. He's happy to step out for the 3 ball. Adnam drags it in for the Phoenix. Late in the clock, Smith-Milner left open on a wing. That rattles out too. Foul. Going Illawarra's way. Tom Garrett, the infringer.
Well, there's going to be a few guys for the Phoenix who step in. We saw it in that first game, especially with an underman Kings outfit as the opposition. Owen Foxwell came in, had an impact. Cohen Sapwell came in, hit a 3 in the minute that he played. And here comes Owen Foxwell now checking in. Simon Mitchell loves being able to play with different guys, throw them out there, see what people can prove for themselves. You don't want to give too much away in these preseason games. You've got to remember the 5 teams that are playing at MSAC in Melbourne and New South Wales. Other teams are going to be playing each other in the first part of the season. We talk about the border controls and what's happening there. So you don't want to give too much away while still trying to figure out what lineups you've got, what plays to run. There's a lot to figure out.
21 apiece. Smith-Milner for Garrett in the corner. Shooting percentage starting to dry up a little bit for the Phoenix. They made a hot start under Brokoff as Jessup not shy. 3rd treble of the opening quarter.
Well, he's not shy at all. And Justinian Jessup has started his preseason on absolute fire.
Now Jawop Reith. He's deep, but it's all about Jessup in this opening quarter. He's the man with the hot hand.
Well, he has been on fire, Justinian Jessup. He has come in looking really comfortable with a point to prove. With the 13 points, yet to miss from the 3, yet to miss from the field, and feeling really good about himself. That's what you want to see if you're a Hawks head. That's going to be really promising for the future for this season. I love the fact Duop Reith stepping out, taking those threes. As I said to Sam Froling, who turned around on media day and said the main thing he wants to focus on this year is his three-point shot, to be able to take his game outside the three. We know what kind of threat he is in the post, but even putting the ball on the floor, to add that to his game is the next step where he wants to get towards making that NBA leap. And if you've got a team with that height, that length, the ability to shoot the three 1 through 5, it's going to make the Hawks a really potent offensive team.
How close is he, do you think? I know Brian Goorjian has spoken in the last couple of weeks and said that he feels that Sam Froling is, if he's not already an NBA caliber player, he's not far away. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, he's got all the attributes, doesn't he? And it's all about just continuing to build on what he's done. Last year was an outstanding season from him, and what Brian Goorjian has said is, I'm giving you the keys in that power forward spot. You make that power forward your own, and he's done that. And I think when he gets to work alongside Duop Reith every single day and still have Brian Goorjian develop you, he's destined for some big things.
It's a Phoenix ball from the inbound. Smith-Milner showing his strength and his presence inside the paint.
It's a good finish by Smith-Milner there. Came on the floor, missed a couple from outside, but gets good position, good patient finish.
Reith had the size advantage over Liafa.
Done that a bit so far, Duop Reith, settling a bit for that jump shot, and we know he's got the capabilities to do it, but with that body in a mismatch with Liafa, as Garrett tees one up from the corner, knocks one down. I'm sure Brian Goorjian's probably telling Duop Reith to sit down low, seal down low, get something going towards the rim.
And the Phoenix take the lead back off that Garrett three, but only for a moment. Duop Reith lands one from outside.
Well, just as you were saying, probably get in deep and down low, pops out for a three ball, but that's what he can do. He can stretch the floor.
Forsyth on the stroke of quarter time, no good. And an entertaining start to this one. 27 Illawarra, 26 Southeast Melbourne. Justinian Jessup, the big talking point of the opening quarter, Pete, with 13 points on 4 of 4 from the field.
Just came in that first shot, even contested. That's a layup for Justinian Jessup when he gets going. We see the team shooting stats right there. Both teams shooting the ball relatively well. And that's what you want to see. Free throws, getting to the line, knocking them down. But the biggest thing that we spoke about with Justinian Jessup, that consistency, always came with his first couple of shots. Last year when he missed a couple of shots, he faded away, struggled to get into the game either end, and that was something we always highlighted, was what happens if he misses his first couple? Yeah. Can he still impact the game in a positive way? On the flip side last year, when he made his first two, he was in for a big night, and he had a really positive impact. Teams knew where he was, had to watch out for where he was. This year, he has to come out with the mindset we see tonight. Even if you missed his first two, keep getting them up, hunt your shot. It's you and Tyler Harvey in what you guys can bring. To be able to bring you back for a second year is huge, and then the other pieces have to fit alongside that.
Is that a change in the way that maybe Illawarra start games or start halves to get Jessup involved more early on?
I think it is, just to test to see how he's going. And you're going to have different pieces. We see the Cleveland, the Rath and Mays types with Brian Goorjian, can throw them out in different lineups. But at least to start with, you know Tyler Harvey's going to be your predominant scorer. That's what he does. He's always been a scorer, and he's put up some big numbers over last year. But to get Justinian Jessup, to see how he is he hot early? Are we going to have to run more things for him? You'd assume in the start of games they'll go to him, start of the second half they'll go to him, and just have a big feel-out process, but that's what the preseason's for.
We didn't see Isaac White in the opening quarter or Emmett Nah, so more options at Brian Goorjian's disposal. Plus the news coming through today. We mentioned that Tim Conrad has been upgraded to a full roster spot for the season. The good news for Alex Madronia is that he has been given an opportunity to be signed as a fully fledged Illawarra Hawk for the next 2 years.
Going back on what you said, Isaac White's checked into the game to start this second quarter. They've got a lot of guards, and it's going to be about Brian Goorjian figuring out what lineup works well. And we saw last year, Emmett Nah didn't play some games, played 20-odd minutes some games. Brian Goorjian loves to just change depending on opponent, how people are training and practicing. So a lot of that will help change. You still got to figure out the best way that imports can impact the game. But you're right, Tim Conrad, how good is it? fully part of the roster. It says exactly how the Illawarra Hawks culture is. He's a huge part of that, always has been. So to be able to do that and get that rewarded for another year, it's good for a man who was retired about 18 months ago.
He was. It's Cleveland finds White in the corner, straight into the game with impact.
Well, if you want minutes, that's one way to get it. Come straight in, take your first shot, semi-contested, and knock it down from the corner.
Cleveland, Harvey, White, Reith and Froling on the floor for Illawarra. Adnam, Chi, Smith, Milner, Tarangi and Liafa.
And that's something the offensive end from the Phoenix do really well, and they get the ball on the move. So you see Ruben Tarangi there catching it already on the move, and he catches Cleveland with his feet in the sand, can't get out and ends up getting the foul. Really smart play from Ruben Tarangi. Another one last year, struggled early, really hit his strides late in the season, and they're going to need him to have those pieces in positions like this. Mitch Creek not playing or certain foul trouble, you need to be able to rely on guys, and Ruben Tarangi needs to be one of those guys for the Phoenix.
Only the 2 points for Tyler Harvey in the opening quarter. 5 field goal attempts. It's Cleveland. Looks from deep. A foul on Smith Milner.
There's the little fouls from Smith Milner. You know what you're trying to do with the box out of Duop Reith, but just silly fouls. And he picked up 3 fouls really quickly in their first game. Ended up getting 4 in a couple of minutes before sitting down. What Simon Mitchell needs is, if Joe Chi has the foul trouble, you need to be able to throw Toy Smith Milner in there and keep away from those silly mistakes. You need him for a big body against Reith, other guys around the league. Those little fouls are the things he's got to cut out of the game.
Shot clock at 5. White has a fumble. They might get it back here, Illawarra, with 1.2 on the shot clock.
Well, they probably got lucky there, because it was going to be an awful shot had that not been deflected out of bounds. Instead, they get 1.2 seconds to run some sort of play. Interesting that you have arguably your best shooter, or one of the best shooters in the league, passing the ball in. Probably not time for a quick 1-2.
See what they can manufacture. They went for the 1-2.
Well, the Phoenix read that well, because you're throwing the ball to Sam Froling there. Very likely they were going to try and go for the 1-2. And in the end, with 1.2 on the clock, was probably not going to be enough time. And in the end, Phoenix get the turnover and their ball.
So for Illawarra fans, they're next in action, the Hawks on Saturday against Melbourne. And then really exciting stuff for Hawks fans. An early look as Liafa throws that out of bounds. Thursday, November the 25th, they host the New Zealand Breakers at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. And Saturday, November 27th versus Sydney at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. Reith, top of the key. There's Harvey. Got himself open and scores. 4-point play coming up.
We don't often see that from the Hawks, that patient offense where everybody was just getting a touch, trying to feel something out, and in the end, Tyler Harvey got it to his sweet spot exactly where he wanted. It looked like there was some contact there, no argument from Kyle Adnam. Gets the chance of a nice 4-point play. I love that you mentioned that the home games. We rewind maybe 3-4 months ago. We weren't sure what was happening with the current state of Australia, and especially with New South Wales and Victoria, but just a place that they can pack out, and as I said, they are building something special down there, and that is going to be a foul from Tyler Harvey on Kyle Adnam. Just being a bit overzealous. Just said thanks for the 4-point play. I'll give you one back just so your coach isn't too upset.
So Liafa breaks the press. She attracts the double team, which leaves Tarangi open for 3. And he's fouled in the motion of shooting a 3-point bomb.
My goodness, exactly what happened to Tyler Harvey. He does it straight back, this time to Ruben Tarangi. You just see the presence of Joe Chi down low. Threw it to him. Everybody was aware he had the ball down low. You leave him try to dig down and Try to compensate for being a bit late closing out to Ruben Tarangi, and he gets a chance for a 4-point play. Nice couple of minutes here for Tarangi.
This has been a promising start to his game. Now has himself up to 9 points. We know he's capable of it. By his own admission, we just didn't see enough of it last year for the Phoenix. Rathan Mays tried to beat the long arms of Chi and couldn't. He rolls to the basket and he's fouled.
You see the impact of Joe Chi down the other end. First off, that's going to be the highlight of what he brings defensively, leading the CBA in blocks when he played there. But what can he do on balls? You saw the movement from left to right from the Hawks, trying to get him involved in the on-ball screen. The Phoenix know that. They know a lot of teams are going to really try to go at him, isolate him in the ball screen. If they can build a wall behind and at least just buy him a second or two, when he gets down low, changes everything. His impact, his length. If you're going to have a floater, it's going to be way higher than you normally shoot it. That's what they're banking on. So it's all about when he is in a ball screen, the 4 guys behind it and the guy on the ball, to really communicate to make sure they can help him out and buy him a second or two to get back and affect the game.
Pick 43 from the NBA draft in 2016 with the Houston Rockets, Joe Chi. Eyes all over the world watching him. He's got a lot of fans who follow the Chinese national team. There he is, getting a little hand on it. And the Phoenix reset up high through Adnam.
Caught a lucky break there. Kyle Adnam coming up a bit long on that as Cleveland tries to take on Joe Chi, and that's what I'm talking about. That length down low, you have to change your shot just a little bit more than you normally would because of his length. As Ruben Tarangi staying in attack mode for the Phoenix.
He looks aggressive today, Ruben Tarangi, which is really good. As I mentioned, you go back a couple of years ago, Pete, to 2019. Most improved player in the competition, best 6th man. We know he's got it. We know it's there.
Well, it's just about, I guess, that headspace for him and where he fits. And the problem with last year with the Phoenix was the role clarity. It was consistently changing. There was big injuries. Kiefer Sykes was injured. We know what happened with Dane Pinot being injured, who, shout out to Dane. We all can't wait to see him get back on the floor. I know he's excited. Unfortunately, he has to sit out due to isolation. But it's about when Mitch Creek is playing and Ruben Tarangi's role changes, how can he still have this positive impact on the game? And if you're Simon Mitchell, you're cutting up this film saying, regardless of if Creek's playing, if Glidden's playing, this is what we want from you, and this is what we need from you every single night. Whether it's 10 minutes one night, 30 minutes the next, this is what we need from you.
Rathan Mays fires away. It's kicked back out to Isaac White. That's his second 3 ball.
Isaac White has come to play. And then just waiting for his opportunity. Happened last year, really slow in terms of getting some minutes. When he did, make sure that they counted and made sure that Brian Gorget had to play him.
Chi, nice catch and take and score.
Puts himself in the right spot, little pick and roll. You can see how hard he works getting up to screens and rolling. Good feed, just throw it up there, let the big fella go get it.
6 points, a couple of rebounds and a block. Rathan Mays looks for White, who's feeling good.
Feeling real good, Isaac White. 3 for 3 in the 4 minutes he's played in this quarter and the game. Good ball movement. I love that from Rathan Mays. Didn't settle. Knew he had the mismatch with Joe Chi out on the 3-point line. Got to an advantage and took advantage of it.
And again, Ruben Tarangi has got 3 free throws coming his way.
Well, I'm not sure of the preseason scout. Ruben Tarangi, we know he has the ability to knock it down when he's feeling confident, but there is no reason to be closing out as strong as this to Ruben Tarangi right now and sending him to the free throw line for some easy ones.
Later tonight, Melbourne United will take on the Sydney Kings. Day 3 action of the NBL Blitz. If you missed yesterday, it was the debut of the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers. They went down 81-75 to the Brisbane Bullets. And then we saw Daniel Johnson as a one-man band for the Adelaide 36ers with 33 points. Helped them to a 4-point win over Cairns.
Fine wine, isn't he, Daniel Johnson? Just continues just to age nicely and get the job done.
They had both of their imports not playing yesterday, the 36ers, but there's some big improvements I think that they're going to make under CJ Bruton. They look very organised. Foul on Adnam. His third. Just needs to be a little careful. Rathan Mace found Reith underneath the basket. The long levers of Chi once again.
Great discipline from Chi down low. Reith came up with what looked like a bit of an errant pass that got to him. And in the end, just kept his composure, didn't foul. And he's having an impact on both ends.
What about that pass out of the low block? Fired it out to Tom Garrett and then the rebound.
Well, they're high on him. And for good reason. We know the pedigree comes from what he's done in the NBA, Chinese national team, but he comes in and he's already fitting into the culture. They're on and off the floor. They love what he brings. Exciting. Just to be able to play a certain type of way. We know there's going to be those adjustment periods of what do you do on the defensive end. When he's in ball screens, how do we play? We've got to find a way to help him. And that's the ultimate thing Simon Mitchell would be saying is when Joe Chi's on the floor defensively, we know his ability to block. We saw it down the other end on Do-Up Breathe. But when he's in a certain situation that perhaps isn't his strength, the other four guys have to help him out.
Assuming everyone's fit and healthy, do you see Chi and Pinot starting together?
No, I think not, especially not with the way Ryan Brockhoff's playing. As he tries to get his own rebound, goes a bit too early there. No, you have Mitch Creek at the 4. You think Ryan Brockhoff, Cam Glidden, and Xavier Munford, and I think that'll be a really strong unit. But again, the chances if they come up against a team when it's Illawarra Hawks, Sam Froling playing really well. He has Mitch Creek out. Simon Mitchell's going to have the option to do that, but we just need to see Dane Pinot back to that 20 rebound best.
He'll be watching on this afternoon. Cheerio to Dane. Wonder if he's run out of things to do yet in isolation. And Tarangi, little floater.
Oh my goodness.
Is good.
My goodness, Ruben Tarangi, have yourself a game.
15 points in the opening half. Isaac White once more.
Well, it's the Isaac White, Ruben Tarangi show right now in this second quarter.
And a second three for Tom Garrett.
We're going to see it a bit throughout pre-season. You're going to have the training guys and some development players step on for an opportunity, and that's exactly what you want. Play solid defensively, and if you get the opportunity on the offensive end, shoot it and play with confidence. Tom Garrett's done it. Owen Foxwell's done it. Cohen Sappel came in and did it, and Lockie Barker right now picks up a foul. And for those unaware, Lachlan Barker played for Frankston in the NBL 1 and
averaged $1 million.
Tore it up on the offensive end. Really exciting. Surprised no one signed him straight away, even as a development player turned into some sort of roster spot, but an exciting future ahead for him.
He's a serious player. If it's not this season, couldn't be far away. Once more, it's Isaac White. This is how you get bulk minutes under coach Brian Goorjian. 4 threes in the second quarter.
Well, it's a little ace up his sleeve, isn't it? We talked about all of the import guards, the new pieces returning with Jessup and Harvey. Little ace up his sleeve to have that opportunity at the green light. It's the Kyle Adnam role, isn't it, for the Hawks?
Chi blocked. Do-Up Breathe gets one back on him. Froling for 3. That's short. Xavier Munford, you can see in the background there, getting ready to check back in. Barker, nice pass for Tarangi.
Oh my.
Got it.
Oh my. Firstly, beautiful pass, hung in the air. Ruben Tarangi, you'd ideally like to see him drop to the complete corner-to-corner pass, but in the end, Barker was good enough to find him, and Ruben Tarangi is on one.
This is a remarkable quarter of basketball for Ruben Tarangi and for Isaac White. Shot clock at single figures. Leafa draws a foul on Rathan Mays.
We like to throw out some ridiculous player watches, but he's a chance for 50. We said it.
Have you called a 50 piece?
We said it yesterday or the day before with Luala Chul, who was very close in the end, but didn't have a scoreless quarter. But what a quarter so far for Ruben Tarangi. 18 points for the game, 4 of 5 from the field, 3 threes. Gone to the free throw line 8 times. He's knocked 7 down. Really promising for him and his confidence. And then on the other end, Isaac White didn't play in the first quarter. Starts the second quarter. You'd think maybe he'd be a bit upset about that. No, sir. 15 points. Has not missed. 5 of 5 from deep. And looking all the bit confident.
He sure is. It's an ultra-aggressive style we're seeing from Illawarra, isn't it? I mean, we come to expect that under the Phoenix. They attack under Simon Mitchell, but Illawarra are happy to get up and down with them.
I think this is the way they want to play. The roster they've put together with the Tyler Harvey, Justinian Jessup coming back, but adding Rathan Mays and Cleveland, they want to be able to do that. They're going to be able to do that with the athleticism of Sam Froling and Duop Breath in the front court. So this is just going to be the exciting brand they play. And when they're rolling, they're going to be tough to stop. And right now, you've got a team that has had that problem. They can put up points, but struggle to stop on the other end. So right now, whichever team wants to actually play some defense has a good chance of winning this one.
How do you think they will have responded or take away from last season, Pete, the Phoenix? In their second season, after winning 9 games in their first season, they make the semi-finals. And as you rightly said, things could have gone another way, and it could have been the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix playing in the grand final.
Look, actually, I chatted with a lot of these guys media day, and Mitch Creek and Ryan Brokoff in particular from the Phoenix, and Tyler Harvey and Froling, and just to hear how much they remember last year and sitting in the locker room and hearing the Phoenix guys say that that game was at Kudos Bank Arena. They share a wall in the locker room with Melbourne United. Obviously, you can hear, and to hear them celebrating, getting along, and they said that still rings bells. Yep. Simon Mitchell said during this preseason he's going to show those 3 games just to kind of really reignite the fire. But they know how close both teams came.
Oh, I found that really interesting. I listened to Simon's podcast with Liam Santamaria on the huddle. They've been great, all of Liam's chats with the coaches. But I found that really interesting with Simon Mitchell, where he said they haven't watched Game 3 as a group yet, but they will as the season gets a little bit closer.
Yeah, well, it's going to be something that you don't want to have to go back and witness. But as you said, how close they were, and just a couple of things went right. If they did go right, it would be better. They'd be in a better position, but now it's the next step. They've made the finals now. They made the semi-finals, made the playoffs. How do we get to a championship level?
White has played this entire second quarter.
And why not? The way he's shooting, yet to miss. Keep going. Brian Gorgon knows. Seen it plenty of times firsthand. When a guy's hot, let him cool down himself. Don't you have any say in that by pulling him out to sit down. And likewise, if you're Isaac White, doesn't matter how tired you are, don't look to the bench if you're tired at all. And that's going to be an offensive foul, moving screen on Ruben Tarangi. That's back to that offense the Phoenix talk about. The handoffs, trying to catch it on the move, get downhill.
It is pre-season, and it is the Blitz, but that's not stopping Simon Mitchell from having a chat to the officials.
No, you're right. We've already seen a couple technicals as well.
I think I just saw Liam Santamaria sitting in the crowd at Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. Ogilvy's pass, a little hard to control for Conrad.
And there again, you see that impact of Joe Chi down low. A little bump of the body, really well disciplined. I think that's something he's already learned, and we find that with a lot of imports, a lot of new players in the league, is how to adjust to the way the NBL is officiated. The physicality of the NBL. It's going to be a foul there. It looks.
How is it different? This is discussed a lot. You've played in the league and you've played elsewhere, so you're as well placed as anyone to talk about this. When you say that it's officiated differently and it flows differently, what do you mean by that?
Well, we see the physicality of it, and you've got to be able to do it the right way. And the veterans of the NBL know that, the guys who have been around, how to use your size and your length you could get away with a bit more here. You can't necessarily there, the hand checking, but the bigs especially being able to back down. And we saw it change a little bit, I think, when Bogut was in the league. And once he started to figure out what happened, I think then the referees also understand that we've got to let the big men get away with a little bit more. But Joe Chi had 4 fouls in a couple minutes in that first game, and I reckon he sat down with Simon Mitchell, and he is playing terrifically in this one without fouling. Yet to get a foul, and you see when he gets down low, just using his length, walling up, putting his arms straight up, and you're not going to be able to shoot over that, and he still can time a block as Munford comes up with the steal here.
Nice heads-up play. Gives the Phoenix a chance to extend here. They're finishing this quarter strongly. Fall-away jump, no good for Foy. White, everything running through him in this second quarter. Fall-away jumper, no good. And Mumford pass a little errant. Rathan May's off to the races for Illawarra. With a minute to play, here's Jessup, who started the game like a house on fire. There he is again.
Can't lose him in transition. Good attack from Rathan Mays. Thought he looked a little bit out of control, but then gathered himself and just found Justinian Jessup. Credit Jessup for moving off the ball, getting to his sweet spot, rising up and knocking it down.
16 points for the next start. Phoenix have one down behind play. White, opposite corner. Misses out in front of the Illawarra bench.
See Tyler Harvey, how excited he is. That's just the guy Tyler Harvey is, just excited for his team's success. Rathan Mays tries to come up with the steal. And Forsyth's going to go to the line, but that's what you want. He hasn't played this quarter, Tyler Harvey. Started it, but sat down. He's got the 6 points. Seeing the young fella come on and have a huge impact. Just an exciting culture overall building in Illawarra.
Tristan Forsyth last year played 4 games with the Phoenix. Got to training on day 1 of pre-season. Simon Mitchell grabbed him straight away and said, can we have a word? Here's a contract for this season if you'd like to play with us again. That's how you want your pre-season to start.
Oh, absolutely. And he'll be a development player this year. And exactly right. You've been around. You're a good character. And Simon Mitchell and the Phoenix, Tommy Greer, they're big on having good characters around. So big positive for him to start his career.
Shot clock switched off for the last action of the first half. Rathan Mays crossing over on Forsyth, but didn't get it to go.
Oh,
and that's
my
fallen
goodness.
down from three-quarter court.
That doesn't count, does it?
I think that counts. Xavier Munford throws up a prayer.
That was nothing but net.
Points are good.
We were about to break down some halftime. That was extraordinary. That was didn't look like at all he was really trying. Just a nice little flick of the wrist. Well, it's going to stand right now. We'll find out when we come back in the second half. But what a way to finish.
And with that, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix turn a quarter-time deficit into a 5-point lead at the half. It's been a really exciting offensive first half of basketball.
Well, it has. Defensively, both coaches aren't going to be too happy. Both teams giving up 50+. But overall, the offense has really stood out. Great passing. Joe Chi's had that impact down low on both ends. But it's been the guards. Isaac White, look at that. 1-2, knocks that down. Went 5 for 5 to start. Ruben Tarangi had a huge second quarter. And Justinian Jessup picked up where he left off as well.
Xavier Rathan Mays showed some good signs in his first outing as an Illawarra Hawk. And there is Xavier Munford.
That's going to count.
That counts. On the stroke of halftime.
It's a can of Coke from the coach back in the days.
A break from us here at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre at halftime. It's the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix who lead 56-51 on day 3 of the NBL Blitz.
Welcome back. It's half time here at MSAC. And welcome back to half time at MSAC.
We'll race anything around here. Even the odd penny farthing.
Thanks for being with us at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. We're just about to get underway for the second half, day 3 of the NBL Blitz. It's the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix who lead 56-51. Pete, we're going to see a little bit of everything over the next couple of weeks, no doubt, with teams trialling different things and different lineups, rotations. We just saw a lot of offense in the opening half from both teams here.
We did, and we're going to see that a lot throughout the season. These are two highly offensively potent teams, if you can wrap your head around that, and they always have been, and especially with the players that have been brought in and to try and fit certain pieces. And ultimately on the offensive end, if this was American football, you had an offensive coach and a defensive coach, your offensive coach would be thrilled, the defensive coach not so much. Phoenix showed some flashes there with Joe Chi down low and being able to be a bit disruptive on the ball. But ultimately, you let 51 points in a half is going to be too many. Can they get some stops? And the hardest part is your key guy in that area is Mitch Creek. You take him out, you've got to change the way you play a little bit. But ultimately, what team shows up here defensively in the second half? How
big a positive is Ruben Tarangi from a Phoenix perspective? 18 points, 4 or 5 shooting from the field, 4 rebounds and a couple of assists. It basically ran through him in the opening half.
Well, it did, and a lot of it was just the design in the plays. He just kind of attacked and didn't do anything he shouldn't have done. He was catching, shooting the 3-ball, and we saw that, as you said, the most improved player in the league a couple of years ago, 6th man of the year. Last year struggled, a lot of the teams struggled with that role clarity. Where do I fit in this Phoenix lineup? They had guys injured, things changing, they needed more from guys, and ultimately it didn't really happen for him. I think the key is to just have this mindset of how to impact the game and play himself and be positive about that between the years, and we saw that. He just didn't think about anything. Was catch and shoot threes in the corner over hands, got fouled on 2 3-point attempts, attacking the rim, catching it on the move. Really good signs from Tarangi, and that'll make Simon Mitchell very happy.
Isaac White, 17 points, all of them coming in the second quarter. Didn't play at all in the opening half. 5 of 7 from the field and 5 of 6 from outside. Justinian Jessup, the other Illawarra Hawk, to really get going in the first half. And Pete, when Illawarra had the early lead, it was Justinian Jessup. He has 16 points, and a lot of them came in the opening quarter.
Well, he just went nuts in that first quarter. Couldn't miss. Kind of did what Tarangi and White did in the second quarter. We'll be seeing how they start here. Do they try and go to the big fella, Duop Reith, get him involved, or even Tyler Harvey? We didn't see too much of him. But that's the way the Phoenix have been starting every game and every half and so far.
That's going to bob up on a scouting report, surely.
Ryan broke off. They're running something for him, and I don't care if there's a hand in his face. He is letting that thing fly, and right now he is knocking that thing down.
It's Froling upstairs. Beautiful pass from Tyler Harvey.
It's a great pass from Tyler Harvey. Good roll from Sam Froling. And these are just the signs we've wanted to see from Ryan Brokoff, and another one who had to deal with a lot between the years last year of trying to get back into shape, the pressure on him coming in to the NBL and the Phoenix. That's not there now. He is training the house down, and it's starting to show on the floor.
Tarangi a little out of control. Froling got a piece of it. A shot clock violation against the Phoenix.
Bit slow to get up. Might have just hit that bottom step there. Ruben Tarangi got off balance. Sam Froling was there to time it and give it straight back to him.
Still to come shortly after the conclusion of this game. Melbourne United and the Sydney Kings will go head-to-head. The Kings have got some serious injury issues that they're dealing with. So far in the Blitz, they were very undermanned in the first game, and it'll be much the same tonight. It's the pressure from Joe Chi in the long arms forces Froling to travel.
Well, he's done really well, really solid down low. We kind of sound like a broken record, but we know he led that CBA in blocks. Doesn't even have to do that. He's just playing really disciplined basketball, and whether he's looked at film or he had a chat with the coaches, probably even some of the players, has adapted in one game really well.
That's a huge positive, isn't it? To make the adjustments, as Adnam knocks it down from the elbow, make the adjustments in one game.
Well, it is, because he only played 14 minutes and fouled out, had 10 points, 8 rebounds, a couple of blocks, and good defensively solid down low. So to make that adjustment to be able to be out here a lot more, he's already played the 15 minutes now and having some sort of impact. And that, remember that floater from Tyler Harvey last year? Could be anywhere on the court. He has the potential to float that up. That is a thing of beauty.
Adnam himself. It's like a game of horse. between Adnam and Harvey.
Oh, it's happened a bit all game. It was Tarangi and Isaac White going back and forth with the same plays, and Kyle Adnam with the little runner.
Keeps things in the Phoenix favour. Antonius Cleveland. Carefully managed minutes. Only played 11 of them. Yet to get on the board. He's 0 from 4. Now Cheat backing in on Reith. Drew the foul.
Well, you see where he caught the ball. That short corner, mid-post, got all the way down low and drew the foul and do a breath. And I'm going to talk a little bit. It's only the first time we've seen the Illawarra Hawks, but Antonius Cleveland and Rathan Mays coming into a squad, and we know what we expect from imports, but we saw it last year. We so often attribute that imports are going to come in who have high scoring seasons. Justin Simon was big proof last year that you don't have to do that. You be good at your role for your particular team and you become extremely valuable. They've got to figure out where that is on this Hawks roster. You know what Tyler Harvey's going to do when the regular season hits. Same with Justinian Jessup. You add Sam Froling and do a brief to that. It's all about just finding your niche to help this team be successful. And I think every single player on that Hawks roster will sacrifice something this year in order to help them take the next step.
Reith trying to use his muscle on Tarangi, who stood his ground and did pretty well. Offensive foul against Ruben Tarangi. The Phoenix give the ball back.
Been another thing that's been called a lot in the first 3 days of the Blitz is the moving screen, and that's what you like to see. And the veterans always think they can get away with it a little bit. Maybe turning their backside in, trying to cover up what you're trying to do in terms of an illegal screen. But that's what we want. We want those screens called. Don't want to give the teams an advantage. Tyler Harvey tries his floater over Shochi. Ryan Brokoff comes down with the rebound, and as we talk about how well he's moving, coming off a 10-rebound game in the first game for Ryan Brokoff. That's just his second one, but he is everywhere.
I thought watching on Saturday in the opening game, Pete, to me that was the biggest indication of how well he's travelling. 2 more for Mumford. Was the rebounding, his involvement at that end of the floor?
Yeah, it is. It's the involvement, isn't it? Just to be able to, he had a couple blocks as well, just to pop up everywhere, and it all comes down with that confidence. He is just playing like we've always come to know Ryan Brokoff, and it's just a great sight to see.
Hawks go back down to Reith, and this time draws the foul on Tarangi, and that will be his 4th.
And you see all that. It's hard when they throw it in to do a breath, and you could hear Brian Gorgon yelling at him to attack, and Simon Mitchell saying keep him off his right hand. Wasn't too much movement off the ball. And trying to figure out, Antonius Cleveland was trying to cut Sam Froling move, but ultimately with Justinian Jessup and Tyler Harvey at the top as the kick-out 3 threats, they need to kind of exchange, do something to move the defense so that Duoff Reith does get stopped. He has a nice kick-out opportunity.
Coming up to 6 minutes left before 3/4 time. Adnam cuts through the traffic and feeds Cheat.
Oh, great play, Kyle Adnam, and Joe Chi just in the right spot at the right time. Easy finish. Yet to see him throw down any dunks tonight. He's probably could throw down all of those, but chose not to.
He's been a starter at the NBL Blitz tonight. Came off the bench in game 1, and he's giving the coach something to think about, Kyle Adnam. Jessup late in the clock.
Good hit from Justinian Jessup, picking up where he left off. Yet to miss tonight in this one. See if they can get a few more shots for him.
Cleveland has options everywhere to choose from. Goes with Jessup. Good decision. He can't miss.
Oh, he's got 21 now, and he can't miss. He is getting everything. And this is what we talked about last year. You can see his stats. 7 of 7 from the field, 5 of 5 from deep. When he hits his first couple in the game, he's locked in. Everyone looks like it's going to go in.
Broke off short. It's fouled by Reith.
That's going to be Duop Reith's 4th foul. Just didn't need to do it. Ryan Broekhoff had that ball.
So he'll come out of the game.
And back on your Kyle Adnam, as see Liafa come back in. Isaiah Liafa started their first preseason game. It's not a bad thing. I think last year it was a bit about who's going to play where. Simon Mitchell knows with these two, it's who's playing well in the current game, who's had a really good week of practice, as to who he's going to run with first. And they're both going to get an opportunity. As Toy Smith-Milner, I'm not quite sure what that was. It looked like a potential floating pass. We'll say that. But either way, it doesn't draw any eye, and that's out of bounds. But as whoever's playing well, he'll throw him out there. Isaiah Liafa struggled. Kyle Adnam had a great game, so he's rewarded with the start here with Cam Glidden out.
They can obviously see the opportunities, both Liafa and Adnam, because Pete, you think back to the off-season and even in the lead-up to the off-season, they were two names that were spoken about a lot, weren't they? With the Jack Jumpers and with other teams who needed guards, and they've both chosen to stay.
I think they both had those conversations with the Jack Jumpers. Ryan Broekhoff going to sit down with 4 fouls, and ultimately, yeah, they did choose to stay, and they're going to be competing for minutes throughout the season, and that's great when you're practicing. That's what you want. You want players competing at the highest level, and if they can understand that what roles they play, that role clarity is going to be given based on performance, then it should only help the team in a positive manner. But it's something that's tough to deal with. Joe Chi all over that rebound to Sam Froling. Good effort from him. But it has its pros, it has its cons, and I think Simon Mitchell knows what he can get out of, what he's hoping to get out of that roster spot.
Possession arrow with the Hawks. Ruthen Mays kicks it out to Jessup, and 3 more.
Well, you can't leave him. Trying to crank down and get a little seal and try and help on the roll. You cannot leave Justinian Jessup. Not normally, let alone after the way he started the game. He's 8 of 10.
Liafa with the shot clock at 5, hand in the face. Tough look. See Cohen Sapwell out on the floor at the moment. Father Rupert, a long-time player in this league. Nice ball movement from Illawarra. Cleveland misses out.
Oh, beautiful ball movement. Everybody got a touch. Multiple people attacking the rim. But I tell you what, you see, Justinian Jessup had a layup, but Joe Chi's presence made him kick it out. As Toy Smith-Milner gets it from the other end. Good kick out again from Joe Chi. His presence is being felt on both ends.
And we shouldn't forget with Smith-Milner from his Melbourne United days, he can shoot the 3 ball. Froling.
That's going to be an M1.
Phoenix thought it was a charge.
And that's what you talk about, building the wall behind him. That's where he's going to be a bit touch and go, Joe Chi. If he's out on the perimeter, whether it's in a ball screen, trying to have show defense or drops or whatever it is, but you get those athletic bigs with the ability to put the ball on the floor, like Sam Froling. Joe Chi just a bit too overzealous. Got to take a couple steps off, trust his length, but ultimately needs to hear 4 guys behind him loading up, ready to help. Got caught a bit slow, feet in the sand, and Sam Froling was nearly not going to get the 3-point play, but he gets another opportunity at it.
He'll come out of the game to sit down. 5 points. 3 rebounds as well for the NBL's most improved player from last season. Sapwell showing confidence. Pulls the trigger.
Had a great season in the NBL 1 for Hobart. Just a pure shooter from anywhere.
Cleveland responds. Ruthen Mays, I should say, responds at the other end.
Good Ruthen Mays. Got 5 assists, getting guys involved. Just slowly starting to work himself into this one.
It's our first look at him, obviously live, Pete. We've seen his highlight reels and whatnot, but he looks quite versatile, Xavier Ruthen Mays. At 6'4", it seems like he plays a little taller than that?
Yeah, I think that's the way he's going to be able to play. If he does play in a lineup where it is the shooters around him, even Isaac White, now to be able to explore, try and get guys shots, and then if the well's kind of drying up for a few minutes, attack, find his own. Has the ability to do both, which is good for Brian Goorjian, just to pick and choose what he needs from him in certain nights.
Here's a Calder Gack at the free throw line. Only the 4 games last season. Year 2 of a 3-year deal.
And they're high on him. They are very high on the potential of this kid.
Cleveland offensive rebound, gives it to Gack, and speaking of getting high.
Well, there you go. Mid-season form already. A bit of the oracle there, and that's exactly what they want. Good cleanup from Cleveland, and just hanging around.
Not sure it
Put a lid on it.
makes the highlight reel of the best dunks we've seen. We saw 3 absolute crackers yesterday at the Blitz. Josh
Goodness me.
Adams. Oof. Not to be outdone. Tom Digbo and Nathan Sobey all having their turn of being on the highlight reel from the NBL Blitz. Rathan Mays gets it to go.
Well, he's having an impact now. As I said, getting some guys involved. Got the 5 assists, 4 steals, so his defensive presence has been known, but starting to attack.
See up in the stands, the Sydney Kings going to make their way back to the change rooms and get ready, as are Melbourne United. Their game coming up shortly. Illawarra may have been bailed out a little.
The Hawks have stepped up their defensive intensity, only allowing 16 points so far after giving up 26 in the first and 30 in the second quarter. Locking in a bit more, that'll make Brian Goorjian very happy.
Phoenix ball from the baseline off the foot. Sapwell threads through the traffic and scores.
Well, it's good out-of-bounds execution, especially on the baseline. Phoenix and Simon Mitchell really clever, got a really good plays there. Multiple looks from players. And Sapwell gets the easy 2.
Isaac White walks.
And there's that presence again.
Yeah.
Joe Chi down low. Get a nice back door. Normally anybody else, you'd probably go up on a layup, try to contest maybe a floater, but Joe Chi changes all that. If you don't time your jump right, you're going to have to do something you're not comfortable with, and in the end, it's a turnover.
The signs are really good for the Chinese national. Illawarra works together with him. Great take and finish.
Oh, it's a great pass. Didn't look like he even caught it properly, but in the end, got it up quick. Really good pass from Illawarra. And Joe Chi, we talked about having your presence felt, has done just that.
Up to 11 points on 4 of 6 from the field.
Foul on Colin Sappo there. Didn't look like a lot in it. A really good pick and roll. Joe Chi up to 11 points. 7 rebounds. Only got the 1 block, but he has affected multiple shots.
"27 years of age, Antonius Cleveland out of Memphis. Comes out of the G League where he played with Oklahoma City Blue.
Got the 4 rebounds, got the 4 assists. Just his first point. Another one just working himself into the game. That's what preseason's all about. Plenty of games, opportunity, different lineups. Where can I be at my best?
Hawks lead it by 1. Chi off the pass from Liafa. Just seems to be finding himself in the right spots.
Well, he does that really well, and he has done that since he stepped foot on the floor a couple of days ago. But credit Tristan Forsyth for that. They've got the 2 big fellas out there right now. Tristan Forsyth set that screen and rolled so hard that Harry Froling was caught in 2 minds. Ultimately, either way he picked was probably going to be slow to get into the other one, and Isaiah Liafa made the right decision.
Tristan Forsyth does look a lot like someone I feel like I know. Have they ever been seen in the same room?
No, I'm yet to figure that out.
2 very different players. Rathan Mays takes it all the way in.
Well, it turned it on this quarter. Rathan Mays up to 9 points now. For 5 assists and 4 steals. Has really stepped it up. In the absence of Tyler Harvey, who's only got the 8 points, has got 3 fouls.
Has
Rathan
been
Mays getting it done.
Strangely quiet, Tyler Harvey. Late in the quarter, Sapwell with his feet set, knocks it down.
That's what he does. Got a very pretty looking stroke. Colin Sapwell steps straight into this game. Played just over 4 minutes. He's got 7 points. Hasn't missed.
So the Phoenix lead it by 2. 81-79. With 2 of their biggest offensive weapons not playing today, the Phoenix, with no Mitch Creek and Cam Glidden. They're still finding a way to have 80 at 3/4 time.
Well, they are. And I praise the defensive effort for the majority of that quarter. The first 8 minutes from the Hawks looked like they stepped it up. They were crashing the offensive glass. Everybody was getting involved. We saw some new faces. In the last few minutes, Joe Chi got involved. Liafa made some good decisions. Colin Sapwell had a quick fire 7 points. And we've still got a scoring feast in this one.
Leading scorers Ruben Tarangi with 18. His contribution not quite as big during the 3rd quarter, as we can see there. 13 for Joe Chi and 10 for Xavier Munford. Justinian Jessup just continues to keep things ticking over. 24 points. His shooting stats are a thing of beauty. 8 of 9. Isaac White with 17. We didn't see as much of Isaac White in the 3rd quarter. Joe Chi leads all comers on the glass with 7 rebounds to go with his 13 points. If he can turn out double-double numbers or close to, Pete, his acquisition for the Phoenix is going to be huge.
Oh, well, it is anyway, just in terms of what he's bringing off the court, in terms of the team culture, how much he's got around the boys and the boys have got around him. But I've loved what I've seen on the floor, and there are going to be those question marks just for the pure fact of his size and his length. How's he going to move in the on-ball screens when you come up against those elite guards? There's elite guards in this one, and so far he's held his own. Times he has got beat. Has been a bit too overzealous on the closeouts, going a bit too hard at Sam Froling, getting beat off the dribble. But anytime he gets put in a ball screen, the rest of the Phoenix squad have had his back, and they're going to have to do that, especially when you come up against these elite offensive guards. And otherwise, if you can even just stop him getting caught in ball screens, if you can switch on the way up, let somebody else deal with that, and have him staying at home, playing like a one-man zone. Anytime he gets in the key, someone's had to either pass it out or change what shot they want to get.
The Phoenix will play again on Saturday against the New Zealand Breakers, and then finish up their Blitz campaign on Sunday, November the 28th versus Melbourne at Parkville. Change in venue to finish the Blitz. Nice finish from Adnam.
That floaters look really nice tonight from Kyle Adnam, and here's the unique time Simon Mitchell running with both Adnam and Liafa on the floor at the same time. Ryan Brockhoff has those 4 fouls as Tyler Harvey tries to get going, and that's what Tyler Harvey can do. He can be quiet for a little bit. It only takes 1 3-ball for him to erupt.
We say he's been quiet. He's got 11 on 4 of 9 from the field. Sapwell puts his head down and draws contact.
Being ultra aggressive, Colin Sapwell, getting a few extended minutes here in this one. Just letting the rest of the NBL know what he's about.
It's a great opportunity, and most teams have got players helping out at the moment. Sydney will have quite a few in the next game, but for Jacob Foy, Cohen Sapwell, as we're seeing here, Tom Garrett, Lockie Barker, Owen Foxwell, it may not necessarily be the Phoenix where they get that opportunity, Pete. Someone might call them somewhere down the line, and based on what they're seeing here.
Well, it's great for this exact reason, and this is what you want to see when you get the opportunity to just take it with both hands and deliver, and he's doing that and more right now. But another year where we're still impacted by so much out of our control that you want to have this kind of game tape ready to go to show some team that if you need somebody at any stage for whatever reason, injuries or anything, I can step into that void.
Isaiah Liafa picks up the personal. Adnam with the job of trying to stop Tyler Harvey. That's not an easy thing to do. Gack with the rebound and goes straight back up.
Oh, well done from Gack there. He's kind of muscled Chi out the way and then got it and managed to finish over him.
84 each at the NBL Blitz. It's Forsyth. No good on his 3. Shooters all over the floor for the Hawks. Not that time though, Conrad.
Well, good decision by Isaac White. Normally you don't want to leave your feet, but had the option to pass to Jessup or Tim Conrad. Waited to see where the defense went, found the open man. Just came up a bit long.
There's Chi. Good position on Conrad, whose hands were just as good to strip him of it. Adam had to throw it up.
No fouls on Isaac White trying to chase down that offensive rebound. Defensive rebound. Tristan Forsyth was all over that offensive glass. And in comes Ruben Tarangi for the big fella Joe Chi sitting down. Excellent game from him. 25 minutes, 13 points to go along with the 7 rebounds and only the 2 fouls. So really impressive outing.
Their second game of the Blitz, the Phoenix, played on Saturday. Too good for the Kings, 81-75. A good chance to be potentially 2-0 with every quarter mattering during the NBL Blitz. So we play for the Bruton Loggins Cup. Jessup up top.
Oh my.
This is some sort of display.
Well, he's feeling really good about himself since the first 30 seconds of the game. He's up to 27 points, only missed 1 shot, 7 of 8 from downtown.
Forsyth.
Oh, this is a bunny. Forsyth, good pass again from Liafa. He's made a couple of those. But if you're just thinking Jessup right now, Isaac White trying to get going. You'd say he's played a terrific game, and the real negative is that he's only taken 10 shots.
Yeah. He's been economical. Chi sitting down, so Forsyth playing the 5. Sapwell catch and shoot, just missing out. Well, Harvey drives, takes it straight at Forsyth. And it's got free throws coming.
You see that quick first step of Tyler Harvey. Doesn't matter where he catches it that deep. Also had to commit to that closeout and ultimately got burnt. Once he got past you, he was always going to have some sort of impact on that. As I said, sitting in Jessup, 27 points, 9 of 10 from the field. He's been incredibly efficient. They got to run some more things for him, get some plays into him, because he is hot.
Averaged 20 points a game last year, Tyler Harvey, third in the competition. Runner-up in the MVP. All NBL first team. We knew he was going to be good. He came with the reputation, but he was better than that.
Well, he's just such a prolific scorer and can fill it up from everywhere. Ability to hit the three, the floater. Doesn't get to the free throw line too much because he likes to settle before that. But as soon as he crosses half court, you've got to guard him. It's a foul called on Smith Milner. Another one of those little fouls that doesn't need to be there. Harry Froling was just baiting him into it.
Adnam and Harvey have gone at it for most of the game. It's been a good duel. Adnam has 9 points. Harvey has 11. It's Conrad. Got past Brokoff. Nice floater.
Zaylee Alpha's doing a really good job of coming off that ball screen, being patient and surveying the floor and just seeing who's open, holding the ball at the right time. Smith Milner wasn't open originally, just kept it for that extra half second. By the time he threw it to him, Tyler Harvey had to do something, otherwise it would have been a layup, and in the end, gets his 4th foul.
Well short on the first. These are rings that he'd know pretty well. Torrey Smith Milner. Xavier Munford checks back in. We didn't see a lot of Munford in that third quarter.
He's only played 15 minutes for the game. And again, pre-season, Simon Mitchell especially is going to give everybody an opportunity. He's done that tonight with the likes of Colin Sapwell, Foy and Garrett getting some time with Foxwell.
Froling kept it alive for Jessup. Shot clock at 9. Got to the free throw line. And he's deep. Might get another chance. This time short. Conrad keeps it at one end of the floor for Illawarra.
Well, how many offensive rebounds can you give him? We talk about how potently offensive they are. Justinian Jessup had 2 good looks, probably his easiest 2 looks of the night. Came up short on both. And Tyler Harvey got to his sweet spot with the floater. That came up short, but Harry Froling and a good to Gack was just hanging around. Get the foul call. Simon Mitchell didn't like it, so he's going to call a timeout.
5.5 minutes to play. The Hawks are leading this quarter and are now leading on the scoreboard. 91-86. No action for Emmett Nara in this game so far tonight. Are they... This is a hard thing to do, Pete. Everyone's going to have a million predictions between now and the start of the NBL season on December the 3rd, but do you see these 2 semi-finalists as being there again, if not even being higher up the food chain?
It's just, I think it's just so even this year across the league. There's just so many opportunities for teams to make the finals. It's going to be so close. It's going to come down to a game or 2. You just know that it's going to be that close. Yeah, I can't even get on a limb. I know we do preseason predictions, so they can be wrong in a few months' time. That's why the only reason preseason predictions are there. There's just so many other teams. It's going to be hard to even look at what we get from the Kings with some still major outs. They're going to be really tough to beat when everybody gets healthy, you'd think. Wildcats recruited well once again. Glad to see Melbourne United.
Maybe I can give you an out.
Please.
Maybe I'll let you wait with the Phoenix until we find out who the import is.
Phoenix will be up there. They have to be,
Yeah.
based on the way we've seen Ryan Broekhoff. We know how good he can be when he's in this mindset. The pieces they bring back, the core, the culture that they've got, and how close they were last year, they're just trying to build on that. So I think they'll definitely be around the mark. But if you asked me that about any team, probably would have said the same thing.
Can you see anyone dropping back?
No, I wouldn't say not necessarily dropping back. I just think there's some other teams overall around the league that are going to take that extra stride forward that perhaps we didn't see last year, and we only saw little glimpses of Brisbane, Adelaide, Cairns and that. So once teams, after 2 weeks of pre-season, start to figure things out, we'll be in a much better space to figure that out come December 3rd.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be interested to see what this Adelaide team will look like as Broekhoff fires away. Yesterday we didn't see Isaac Humphries, we didn't see Todd Withers, Dusty Hanners.
Well, it's hard because in pre-season, I mean, we're seeing it a bit now, and in the next game here, any little niggles or anything, you don't want to bother trying with that. There's no point in pre-season. It's still 3 weeks away till the actual season starts. But on the other hand, you want to get hit-outs against other teams. Playing against another team rather than just an intra-squad scrimmage changes everything. How does it look? So they've got to start to figure that out. And you think by the last pre-season game at least is how close to a normal game you want to play. Again, in a weird situation where you probably be playing that team you play in the last pre-season game early in the season.
First time these two teams will meet in the regular season is December 22 at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. He's Adnam going to work on Jessup. Lays it up.
Well, he's looked really strong in that middle third of the floor. When Kyle Adnam gets there, we've seen the floater. We know his ability to stop on a dime and get that mid-range jumper. Had Jessup on his hip. Good screening from Joe Chi. Kyle Adnam took advantage of it. He's going to do that. He's had a good little game here in the starting lineup, and there's that little floater from Tyler Harvey, who's quietly gone about his business with 15 points.
Might have heard what we were saying. He's got busy. The Kings and United up next. United coming off a win in their first game, and Sydney, as Pete said, it's a different looking Sydney team, but they've got some injury issues to work through between now and the start of the season themselves.
Well, they do, and we'll talk a bit about it when that next game starts. Just how unique it is for the roster they put together with this import trio and new coach Chase Buford. Love to have seen them out. I was crossing my fingers there would be tonight, at least one of them, and unfortunately both ruled out again. I'm talking of RJ Hunter and Jalen Adams, and that could very well be a charge. Good take from Smith Milner. Gets his revenge from Harry Folling on the one called a bit earlier.
A couple of big bodies going at it. Officials and hard-working staff get all the sweat off the court.
And you said the cup up for grabs, the pre-season cup. As it stands right now, the Hawks got the first point of the game in the first quarter. 1 point win, 27-26, and then Phoenix took the honours in the second, 30-24. Hawks came back with a 28 to 25 point third quarter, and right now lead this one 15-9. So Hawks are on their way to get a nice 5 points out of this one if they can close it out.
Adnam from outside, off the front of the rim. Harvey with the uncontested rebound, and he saw Jessup in the open floor. Goes back to Harvey. Munford from deep.
He showed a little bit of that in that first game, 3 of 14 from the field, but has the ability to fill it up. Much more efficient tonight. A real promising outlook. Doesn't ever have to do too much. The game's going to find him with the guys you put around him.
You can see Kyle Adnam's numbers on the screen there. He's played a lot of minutes and been everywhere, and this time finishes off with the left hand. And Harvey at the other end blows past him.
Well, it was a goaltender, didn't matter, it went in anyway, but it's a nice little up and under from Kyle Adnam to 13 points himself, and Tyler Harvey answers straight back. He's going to sit down for the last few minutes. Rathan Mays and Antonius Cleveland back into this one to try and close it out with the Hawks up 1. Good take there from Smith Milner. Go to the line for 2.
No good on the first, Smith Milner. Makes good on the second. And Harry down to Sam in the low block. Takes it at Chi and gets himself free throws.
Well, if I was on Joe Chi, I thought it might have been on Smith Milner for a little hand in the cookie jar, but just on Joe Chi's leg, saying he couldn't get out of the way. And again, that's the time he's being caught out tonight. He's played well, got 13 points, 9 rebounds, but the 3 fouls he has picked up have all been when Sam Froling's attacked him. And Sam Froling in the blood jersey after cutting his hand a little bit earlier.
She takes the bump. Very nearly fell over. It's like watching a building sway in the breeze then.
Well, as we talked about his impact defensively, not so much blocks, but changing the shots and getting down low. He's got a great little touch on that. Gets the free throw to roll. 14 points and 9 rebounds. I just think Simon Mitchell will be stoked with the fact that he has adapted from that first game, hasn't picked up those silly fouls. In the end, you're going to have to live with the fouls of guys attacking him, getting in on the hips, those kind of things. That's just going to be part of his game. If you can minimise those other little ones he got in the first game, then he'll be in a good position going forward.
15 points now for Chi. Defensively got drawn in by Rathan Mays, got back up, used all of that 7'7" wingspan. this time vertically.
Oh, what a pass. What a pass from Adnam to Joe Chi, and he's doing that well. The connection the guards already seem to have with him, especially Illawarra and Adnam, has been really, really promising.
Cleveland into the paint. Rebound Brockhoff. The Phoenix back in the lead. And we saw yesterday in the overtime game, the teams are playing to win here at the NBL Blitz. Munford for three. That jumps out of the cylinder. Rathan Mays responds. Scores locked away at 100.
Had a really good second half, Rathan Mays, and we'll try and get a quick shot here. There's 30 seconds left, 14-second differential.
Adnam, shot clock at 9. No look feed into the corner for Smith Milner. Brockhoff came flying in for the rebound. And gives the Phoenix a chance to win it on the last possession. Shot clock at 3. Adnam off the back of the iron. Cleveland got it away from half court. Yesterday, it was the Adelaide 36ers and the Cairns Taipans who went to overtime. We're doing it all again tonight.
Well, where's Xavier Mumford when you need a half-court shot? But well done, Ryan Brockhoff, getting that offensive rebound. Another chance. It looked like Illawarra would have a chance to try and win it. And Kyle Adnam just selling perhaps too much for that three at the end, trying to get something downhill. Put the pressure on the referees to have to make a call or try and find the big fella, Joe Chi. And you can see Melbourne United and Sydney Kings in the stands waiting to get on the floor to warm up. That'll have to wait another 5 minutes as we figure out who's going home with these points.
Every quarter counts and all points count. Therefore, overtime. Brian Gorshin, what will this lineup look like for the overtime period?
Well, he ran with the new guys, didn't he? Rathan Mays, who was really solid. Cleveland had some nice flashes defensively with Tim Conrad, Harry Froling. Left Tyler Harvey and Justinian Jessup on the bench. Wanted to see if the new guys could get something done. You're a bit of an overtime magnet, Mr. Everett.
Yeah, we got one yesterday. 36 has got the job done there. That was, in that game, two very, very different approaches to overtime. The Cairns Taipans kind of, Adam Ford rolled through everyone basically during that overtime period and gave them a look. The Adelaide 36ers under CJ Bruton, they kept what to me would look like one of their closing lineups out and won the game.
Well, yeah, I don't think we're seeing that right now with the Hawks, obviously, with Tyler Harvey, Jessup and Reith all sitting down for the last few minutes. You've got the Froling brothers out there, Rathan Mays, Cleveland and Tim Conrad. And the Phoenix would always be a bit different. No Mitch Creek, no Cam Glidden in the game at all. You've got Adnam, Mumford, Adnam, Illawarra, Ryan Brockhoff, Smith Milner and the big fella. 5 more minutes to decide who wants this second game.
Sydney and Melbourne next, but they'll just need to wait a few extra minutes. Rathan Mays, the deep two is long. Adnam had a couple of good looks towards the end. Broke off for three.
It was beautiful offense because you could see the defense. They're trying to switch this. That Spanish action we talk a lot about, getting that back screen. And when you've got Ryan Brockhoff setting the back screen for Joe Chi, the Hawks tried to cheat it. As Conrad tries to answer back and does. But they tried to cheat it, and in the end, it was either going to be a dunk for Joe Chi or broke off a wide open three, and it was the latter, and it was all money.
Brokoff hits straight back. And then Conrad hits him straight back.
And there it is again, the same play, a little back screen. That's a lot deeper. Same result for Ryan Brokoff.
Woohoo!
Are you wondering, Simon Mitchell was going to play his youngsters in this overtime? No, he wants to win this. And that man is looking in mid-season form already.
Froling misses the tip in, falls back out for Conrad. That'll be a hold on the Phoenix.
No fouls on Kyle Adam. Good effort, Rathan Mays. He is all over the glass, just those extra possessions. That's all you have to do. You're going to have guards in there when the bigs are trying to box out Joe Chi. Guards going to have to get in there, try and have some sort of impact. But Ryan Brokoff has gone whack. As we said, start of games, they're going to him. Start of the halves, they're going to him. Tim Conrad's answered back now with 5 points of his own. See if they can keep trying to find Brokoff down this end.
There's Chi. Flips it back out to Adnam. Bullet pass, and Adnam draws nothing but fresh air.
Oh, it's closed out well there, and good pass from Joe Chi. I love that he's unselfish down there. They keep running that action, and when something works, why not? That was better defended by the Illawarra Hawks.
Froling wins it back for the Hawks. That's Sam Froling. Harry out there as well. Froling got to his left hand, took the contact and scores.
Oh, what a play. Firstly, great play from Rathan Mays. He has looked really active in the second half. Kept his dribble alive, got to his spot, missed. Sam Froling was there to clean up the mess. Might have got away. It looked like he might have been out of bounds. Didn't matter. Got it and got the N1 opportunity over Smith Milner.
8 points, 6 rebounds for Froling, as the Hawks lead it by 2 in overtime. Liafa boots it into the corner and throws it away.
It's a good pick up there by Sam Froling. Looked like there might have been a couple of fouls. Initially on there might have been a bit of hook. Wasn't happy with that screen set by Joe Chi. Big solid screen, and we saw Liafa. He was looking for the big fella. Hawks defended that well, and he had to throw it last second to the corner, and just a bit off the mark.
Conrad hasn't been shy.
Well, we know we're playing 5 minutes overtime, but the way these first 3 minutes have gone, we should have just put a rack of balls down each end and let Brokoff and Conrad figure out who wants the points.
Again, late in the clock, the Phoenix have been trying to settle for the right shot. That wasn't it from Adnam. And Cleveland off to the races, takes on Brokoff and lays it up.
Outstanding one-on-one defense right there from the guards, just harassing Kyle Adnam, and you know where he's trying to get to. He's trying to get to that MG logo, trying to get you off balance, either rise up for a floater or get to a mid-range jumper. Just never made him look settled. And in the end, he ended up putting up a wild shot, came off the mark, and they were off to the races. That one-on-one defense will make Brian Goorjian very happy going into this timeout.
Simon Mitchell wants to have a chat about it. A different setting at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre yesterday at MyState Bank Arena. The Tasmania Jack Jumpers played their first game to a sellout crowd that made a lot of noise. Fast forward 24 hours, it just shows that the difference of the states and the rules and just the way Australia is right now, Pete, that we're playing in a virtually a closed facility tonight.
We are, but it's got that cool tournament atmosphere. You see the other teams coming in, sitting behind, and as you said, the uniqueness of it is that after this 3 weeks, these teams will be playing each other in the first few rounds. But the nice little stat man had the original Blitz, and this was early 90s where it was held at MSAC, was 20-minute games over multiple courts.
That's right.
And they would rotate around, which is got a little 2020 feel about it, something different.
Speaking of going back through history, courtesy of Mark Slocan, the stat man at NBL Facts on Twitter. Last time Brian Goorjian coached a game in the preseason blitz was September 2006 in Coffs Harbour. It's a long time ago. There's a late foul called on Illawarra that they're not too happy about.
A lot of guys in foul trouble tonight. Everybody still trying to get adjusted to the way it's going to be this year.
Smith-Milner gives it up for the Phoenix. Rathan Mays has really come to life in the second half. Not that time, though. Strong rebound for Brockhoff.
Really strong. He is getting in there, making sure that his presence is felt on both ends as Kyle Adnam tees one up. And nothing but net over Sam Froling. Kyle Adnam.
Could see maybe a bit of relief there for him. He's found the going a little tougher in the second half. He got that one to stick and has 16 points. Froling and Chi might have just got a little hand on that.
Sure did. There you go. Sam Froling tries to up and under. The discipline to stay down initially and know that your length, your reach is going to get at least to affect the shot. Got a piece of it. It's just great one-on-one defense. He has looked really solid down low. Credit to him and the Illawarra Hawks. Haven't really put him in those positions where he's uncomfortable so far.
Phoenix down one. Adnam rattles the three out. The Hawks get the ball back and
chance for a 2-for-1 if they want it. Kyle Adnam went early enough.
Illawarra can be patient. Get the look that's right for them. Cleveland, mid-range two, bottom of the net.
Well, it was. They weren't going to go for the 2-for-1 in the end. A contested mid-range. Lucky to knock that down. Got to protect the three-point line right now.
They need the three ball. Smith-Milner is fouled by Conrad.
Oh, it's a good foul in the end, Tim Conrad, because did the right thing. Got out to the closeout from Smith-Milner, his ability to shoot the three. Made sure that if he did bite on the fake, he wasn't going to get a sidestep, step back. Smith-Milner was going to go to the line for two. Not a bad result.
Makes the first. Now what happens next? He goes 2 from 2. Isaac White in. Sam Froling out. Phoenix make a change to their lineup as well. Illawarra by 1. They get the ball in, but Isaac White's got a problem. Was fouled by Liafa.
Isaac White, the man with the hot hand early. Go to the line. Try and knock down two.
It's been a big performance for him, 17 points across the night. In his last 10 games of the NBL 21 season, Pete, averaged 7.5 points a game at 40% from outside the arc.
Well, he was that little ace up his sleeve. Didn't get too many opportunities early, but didn't drop his head, kept working, and when that chance came, took it with both hands. And here we go. 6 seconds on the clock, a 3-point game. You've got to protect the 3-ball. And Phoenix have plenty of guys who can knock it down as a chance to send it to double overtime.
As Mumford, off the screen, was fouled on the floor.
Really smart play from Harry Froling. You can hear Brian Gorgon screaming foul. Normally teams have some sort of code word or something to hide that fact, but no, foul will work in this case, and did it the right way. Got his body there, didn't try and reach, didn't try and do anything that leads to an unsportsmanlike foul. Real good heads-up play from Harry Froling. And now the Phoenix have to think about what they do here. Make one, miss the second, and hope for an offensive rebound.
Now they've got a decision to make. Mumford tried to miss it.
Well, he went too early himself. And in that regard, you've just got to try and put it somewhere towards the left, towards the big fella. And you got to get your guards to fly to the wings. And Brian Gorgon's going to call a timeout here. Why not, Gorge? It's Monday night. Try and set something up. But yeah, the only thing you can do there is to try and miss it towards the big fella's side and have your guards who are at the top of the key sprint around to feel the wings and try and get some sort of tap back. But again, good heads-up play from Harry Froling, and we always a topic of conversation. How do you foul when you need to foul without making it an unsportsmanlike or even tempted to be called an unsportsmanlike foul? Did it the right way, did it with his body.
The NBL Blitz will roll on tomorrow night, a doubleheader back at MyState Bank Arena in Tasmania. We see the Perth Wildcats playing their first game. They've only just met their coach, Scott Morrison, in the last couple of days. They play the Adelaide 36ers, and Cairns and Tasmania will play ahead of another big crowd at MyState Bank Arena tomorrow night at 7:30.
Well, here we go. Brian Gorgon called the timeout just to get the ball in. And Ryan Brokoff just has to foul with 0.1 to go. Send them to the line. I'm sure Melbourne United and the Kings are thinking, well, come on, guys.
It's past our bedtime, guys.
And that's Ryan Brokoff's 5th foul, but back-to-back games, he is looking like his old self, and it's a great sight for Phoenix fans, for Phoenix players, but ultimately for any basketball fan in Australia. It's just a great thing to see, moving well, playing with a smile on his face, hunting his shot, and he's going to be in for a really big year, you think?
No doubt about it. 2 really good showings to start with.
We're talking about Rathan Mays for the next couple of days. I thought it took a while to get into it, but in that second half really took over the game. And he was outstanding along with Justinian Jessup. Isaac White had his moment in that first half. In the end, the Hawks are going to take this one in overtime.
115, 116 to 112, the final score. Illawarra in the extra period. Too good for the Phoenix, and I'd say that both teams have got plenty that they can take away from tonight's game.
They can. I mean, offensively, it was everything they'd want on both ends. Free-flowing, getting the guys shots where they wanted to get the shots for the shooters. Defensively, a lot to work on for both teams, and missing some key pieces. And didn't get to see a whole lot of Tyler Harvey, didn't get to see a whole lot of Dua Breath. But in the end, the shooters won out. The Hawks will be happy with that, and they can build on that in the next one. And the Phoenix, they just need their Mitch Creek back. I'd love to get Cam Glidden and Dane Pinot. But Joe Chi looked really good. Kai Ladnam looked solid. But Ryan Brokoff, again, will be the big story out of this one.
So it took us until overtime to find a winner, but we got there in the end. Here's some of the highlights, the back end of this game. A Calder Gack Played a nice little cameo, and we know the amount of global eyeballs that'll be on Joe Chi. The hype is real, Pete. I think that's, after tonight, he had a lot of foul trouble in the first game. You've only got to see some of tonight's highlights to see that he can play.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just a huge presence on both ends, and when you get the team looking after him behind with those defensive places where he perhaps isn't as strong, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
So one game down, one to go at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. It's Illawarra who win in overtime in game one. Don't go too far here on KO Freebies. In just a few moments' time, it'll be Melbourne United taking on the Sydney Kings in game two of Monday Night Hoops at the NBL Blitz.